The big names.
The big stories.
The big program.
The Mike Hosking Breakfast.
On News Talk ZB.
There's no one more important to me. And darling, can't you please see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing this song for you.
13 minutes past 8, standing room only communal celebrations. That's what they call the Neil Diamond Show. There aren't many that still pack him in after nearly 50 years. 128 million albums, 37 top 10 singles, 18 top 10 albums. His last couple of years back was called Home Before Dark. It was a brilliant debut at number 1. He's got a Golden Globe, a dozen Grammys, and to cap it all, he's now a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominee. Got the new album, of course, and he's back for another tour. Neil Diamond is with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Very well indeed. How good at fencing were you?
Well, I was good enough to make the starting team at New York University, and I made it barely on a 9-man team. I was the 9th man, but I did start. We were national champions, and I had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
And how good a biologist would you have been, do you reckon?
Very bad. I couldn't never get past chemistry, and I think chemistry is an important element in biology, so I wouldn't have made a very good biologist.
So how did all of this work out then? You're doing your biology, you're doing your fencing, you're at university, you start writing a few songs, and the next thing you know, you're 68, one of the greatest names in music ever. How did all that work?
Well, it worked out well for the music. It didn't work out very well for my medical career, but I had started writing music when I was 16 or 17, so that came before anything else. It was my first love, and of course, fencing was just fun. It got me through college, and but it was a great deal of fun. There was no future in it. And medicine, I realized pretty early that I was not the kind of student that was going to get through pre-med. So I ended up doing the thing that I really wanted to be doing, and that was music. So I wrote music constantly. I wrote through my classes at New York University, and I'd cut classes and hop on the subway train and go up to Tin Pan Alley and try to get my music heard.
Were you one of those kids that your parents worried about, that if you kept writing music you'd amount to nothing?
No, I don't think my parents worried about me. They tell me that I was a good kid, and I did my work, I minded my manners, and I don't think I was too much of a problem. I was into my own thing, and especially once I found music, I was straight ahead with that.
When you started writing, you were writing for people, of course. You were a songwriter. Did you write just the song, or did you write for somebody specifically? Did you tailor the song to them?
Well, I try to do it both ways. I wasn't very good at writing for somebody, so I ended up just writing songs out of the blue and hoping that somebody would be attracted to it.
And then the voice, because your voice is probably one of the most unique voices. It's instantly recognizable. Somebody at some point must have come along and go, hang on, you better do something with that as well.
Well, no, I mean, it's just my voice. I never thought it was unusual. It wasn't the same as everybody else's voice, but I never gave it much of a thought.
Really?
And, it turns out that people are liking my voice and have liked it, and matter of fact, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this new album we have coming out. It's called Dreams, and it's basically a vocal album. I'm doing the best songs of the rock era,
yeah.
And songs that I loved singing, and I enjoyed the whole process very much.
Is this with Rick Rubin?
No, this one is just myself. I started it just very casually, and it just took on a life of its own, and I just finished it myself.
Fantastic, because that must be one of the things, because I noted on Twitter you were twittering about, are you doing something with Rick Rubin? I mean, I know you've done something previously, but are you doing something currently?
Well, we're meeting and we're discussing the next album, the album after this one, and but that's it.
Because what is it about Rick Rubin? Because he did it with Cash and the Dixie Chicks. He seems to be able to, I don't know, get in the head of people and just produce the most extraordinary sound or music or feeling. There's something about him, isn't there?
Well, I think he's picking the right people. He's picking Johnny Cash, and he's picking me, and whoever else. He's very good at choosing the people he wants to work with. And but we had a good time, and I love the two albums that we did do together.
Indeed. But in producing this album and doing it yourself, I mean, that must have been one of the most remarkable changes you've seen in your time in this industry, because when it all began, I mean, the record company was everything, wasn't it? You had to get hooked up with the record company and they'd drive your career. These days you can do it in your bedroom and flick it out to the world by a computer.
Well, you can, but I don't do it that way. I go into a studio and I'm involved with the record company. I've been with Sony Records for 40 years. So I still have a label, and I still make my records the old-fashioned way. I get in front of a microphone and I sing my heart out. So it hasn't changed for me.
Do you think much about the impact you've made, you know, the legacy you've created, the seminal albums, the seminal songs?
Seminal?
Well, I mean, yeah, they're the soundtrack to our lives, aren't they?
Well, I hope so. But do I think much about the impact I've made?
Yeah.
I don't, but occasionally I'm happily reminded by people certain songs have an effect on their lives and are markers in their own lives, and I love that. But I don't tend to think back. I tend to think forward, and I'm thinking about the song that I'm writing today rather than the one I wrote years ago.
Wow. So then, does that mean, because you've ebbed and flowed throughout the decades as well, you've been cool, a little bit uncool, I mean, do you worry about any of that? You're here today, gone tomorrow, back again. I mean, that comeback album a couple of years ago, number one, debuted at number one after all of those years. That must have been amazing.
Well, of course, the number one album is always amazing, and you always love it, but I've been doing my work, and I haven't really been paying much attention to that kind of thing. My focus is on the songs and the performances.
What do your grandkids make of you? Do they love you as a granddad? Do they know who you are and what you're about or not?
Yeah, they know who I am. They know that I'm Grandpa, and I love that, and they're my grandkids, and the rest of it is all secondary as far as they're concerned.
And still on the road, of course. You still love being on the road?
I love performing. I love getting in front of an audience. It's one of the great feelings and most fun things that I do.
And we're alone now.
And the brilliant Neil Diamond, latter part of February, and also in a couple of shows at the Victor and one in Wellington. Another gap between the dates means he's probably having a wander around the country, probably having a little look at the place, and why wouldn't he, huh? Neil Diamond, still touring, still singing, still brilliant. News Talk ZB, it's 8:21.